my hair.
I like it.
Well, no hat tonight.
It
Gang.
looks good.
What's up, gang?
I want to check and see if I have lipstick on my teeth, but I'm certainly not going to use the viewfinder. That would give some real. Wouldn't that give lovely screenshots? Hold on. Is it? Look.
We're checking for lipstick. I don't think so.
Okay. That's all. I mean, it's okay. Even, you know me, even if I did, but I don't want to stick my teeth in the viewfinder. Okay.
What's up, guys? Long week.
I don't know who looks more disheveled. Hey, Karen. Our white silky that's been walking around in the rain for whatever, a week, or Sean?
Or me. See, here's what's up. I don't have I have this energy drink here called A-Shock, and it's really not that good, but as long as it does the trick, it's going to be okay.
I could tell you were tired when you were eating. You were like zoning off, and I was like, oh.
I was zoning off.
You've done it.
You know what got me? You were like, well, I'm going live, homie. And I was like, oh I got it.
Tell them what you were listening to in the bathtub.
Okay, so I was there's like t-shirts that come across on whatever, Facebook or whatever I was looking at. So there was one called the Swollen Members. Hey, let it go.
Did you hear that? Nope, back up. What is the name of the band?
The name of the band is Swollen Members. And Mandi had never heard of them. They're like a hip hop band of like 15 years ago.
It reminds me of like the Penthouse forum that you stole from like a friend's house and you read it, and that was one of the terms in the Penthouse forum.
Well, I mean, like
for real.
Like the Gotti, like, and then his swollen, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And that's what makes me gag, is because it's like,
it's
oh my God.
But so I immediately went to iTunes and listened to some of their music. It's actually pretty funky, cool, like 20-year-old hip hop. They're Canadians too. They're from Canada. Their net worth is like $2 million. So,
but how do you put that name on a CD cover or an iTunes thing, and that not be some sort of parental advisory in itself?
I think there is a parental advisory on the.
And you would have to make songs about nothing but sex. What was that one song you were listening to?
Porn star?
Yeah, porn star. Well, of course, if your name is Swollen Member,
yeah.
You have a song called Porn Star. Look, this has been hanging in my closet all year. It's
Mandy, you're gonna have to read the chat because I have these contacts in. But
oh Lord, we gotta fix that. So Sean, y'all know the story.
You notice I don't have the glasses
You should
tonight.
have reminded me to get the eyeglass repair kit. A little screw fell out, the lens fell out. That's not the problem. The contacts that he has, he can't see the phone.
I can't read with it.
And he didn't. Instead of saying something like right after they gave us the contacts,
I couldn't tell then though. Really?
No, you could.
I could.
And you were like, I think it's going to be okay. But the other ones that he had didn't do that. Do you still have those old ones?
I might have a pair of them. They're like 2 years old.
But you've had them in solution.
I might. I'd have to go look.
Anyway. Is there someone, hey, let it go, hey, chillin', is that like, oh, chillin', like, children, okay, I was like, we must have someone.
Hello, chillin'.
I was like, we must have someone blocked because I don't see who that person is.
She does a lot of like South Park stuff.
Let it go. I looked for something on Amazon that said back that ass up on it. There was nothing for sale.
We'll find something though.
No, I already have hers.
Okay, but
you'll find something that says
back that ass up. Trust me, if I found a shirt that said that on it, but
I could make one with like a donkey backing up, back ass. Get it?
There's probably a shirt out there that is like that.
Well, there could be. So anyway, it's been raining for no joke 2 weeks straight, right?
At least 5 days. It's from my whole work week. It didn't really rain.
No, it was been like 7 or 8 days.
No, when I delivered packages last Sunday in the dark, it wasn't raining, but it started right after that. And
hey, Paulette.
Now, if you have arthritis and it's just a cold, rainy day, kind of sucks. And then it gets on to the next day and the next day.
Aaron's got it real bad.
By the 5th day, man, I am wrecked walking around work because of this.
And that pain wears you down.
It does, man.
It does.
And you got to keep going. I mean, you can't, it's like, all right, I got to make it to whatever.
The fourth vital sign or something?
What is
pain.
it? Is it?
Now, used to, if you pointed to the little smiley face that was crying, that would guarantee you some sort of narcotic prescription. They don't care about that anymore. Used to, you could be like, that one right there. Now they don't. They don't care.
No. But the other thing that happens if you're up and about early in the morning and you've got to go somewhere, you know, like, all right, I get up out of bed because I got to go to like CVS or I got to go to Walmart. I got to go wherever. You know, the people that just kind of like roll out of bed, you know, throw whatever shirt on, and then like the post office is one of those places where like, let me go ahead and do this so I can.
Hey, Jude,
it'll get out.
When's the last time you got out of bed to go to CVS? I'm
telling you, there are people that do that.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes there's one person that comes in, right? And there was nobody up front, so I go front, and she comes in, and she looked like, the thing is I know this girl's parents because she had to, because her mail was their mail, and she came to pick it up. There's a PO box, and Mandi, the whole lobby smelled like dog pee when she came in. Like she threw something on and didn't realize it. And sometimes that happens to people. Could like they throw something in. No, there was a difference. It was just like,
or her own pee.
You could tell that it was like something that when their whole house smells.
Yeah. So
like the shirt sits in the corner, or it's even if it's folded up, if it just sits there for a while, it's going to smell like the inside of the house.
And it stunk up the whole
lobby stunk. And for a second, you don't know who it is, you know, because there's maybe a half a dozen people milling around or whatever. But then it was like, oh my God, and she came over to where I was, and I was like, oh, you know, like, sweetheart, you stink, you know, because she was like, maybe
you said
early.
That?
No, I didn't say it. You're thinking that. You're like, oh, is someone going to tell her?
Maybe her rogue husband pissed on it before she went to the dream space.
Yeah, I've been accused of it.
I was like, did you really pee on the... He was like, no, I didn't pee on the clothes.
Y'all remember that? You remember when
Before she took off her the dream space, she's like, I peed on my clothes.
I got accused of peeing all over. Peeing on her. God.
And that was one of the questions I asked him. I was like, did you really do it? Were you that mad? He goes, I didn't pee on her clothes.
This is Mandi ATX. Mandi.
There was 2 questions I asked. Do you have a grinder?
Mrs. ATX and Tomahawk Sean used to be friends before we crossed over, right? And so she would just come out of the blue, like, and I'd just get a DM.
Well, she said you had a grinder.
Hey, did you really piss on her clothes? I'd be like, stop, you know.
But that was like when we got together. Asked that. There was a few questions that I'm like, you can plead the fifth. Everybody gets fucking mad. We don't get monetized anyway, but everybody gets mad. But did you have? And I was like, because I can't imagine
you. I had a grinder.
I can't imagine you whipping it out and peeing on.
No.
And then she said it was. Well, he did it because he has PTSD. I was like, did you have some sort of episode where? He goes, I didn't pee on her.
Oh my God.
But you said Lily might have.
I don't think so.
Because Lily was pissed off.
I don't think there was any pee on anything, man. I really don't. I don't think.
Anyway, go back to what
because even when I said, even like when that happened, and I go,
remember that, guys? It was.
I remember when afterwards I was like, I peed on your clothes,
and
really?
ripped the school books up. I was like, who's got school books anymore? It's all digital.
So anyway, that happened.
R. Kelly.
That's how it starts. Yeah, who said R. Kelly?
Should pause. Like, are we talking about R. Kelly? That's how he got in trouble, right? Peeing on an underage girl?
Yeah, something like that.
The problem wasn't the pee.
It wasn't the peeing, you know. I mean, so some people like to get peed on, they get peed on. It was
Do you know Rachel Ray? Remember her ex-husband? It came out that he liked to be defecated on, and he was hiring prostitutes that were crapping and peeing on him. And I was like, it's bad enough you get mortified that your husband's cheating.
Could you imagine, like, if you're a hooker or whatever, and they're like, all right, I got one. This is a guy that, I mean, it's a little weird, but I get what do you mean? He wants me to take a dump on him.
And it happens.
I mean, but he's going to pay.
I think is.
But he's going to pay me like $1,000. All right, I guess. What do you go, like Taco Bell first?
When we first started talking, I was like, "What would you do if I said something like, I want to pee on you?" And he goes, "I'd have to."
I tell you no.
And that's what I was like. Right answer. Don't let anyone pee on you.
That's right. There's little tests all the way through it, like.
Yeah, Rachel Ray, the chef, her ex-husband got busted paying people to poop on him. And she was, and you know her sense of humor.
How do you get busted doing
after
that,
it was all said and done, she was like, if she
what did she like, look at the American Express bill or something like that?
I don't know how it came out. Oh, and I started watching that, and I'm not going to finish it until Sean and I can watch together, that Meghan and Harry documentary on Netflix. If
So
y'all
it's
haven't
out?
watched it,
It
yeah,
is out?
I want y'all to watch it so we can talk about it. There's a few things that I want to see if Sean picks up on. Not the narcissist. She's obviously a narcissist, not that. I want to see if a few things that don't line up in the documentary that make it look authentic.
Okay.
But they,
How much did you watch of it?
not very much. They, oh, Jay has a question.
Okay, Jay. Don't let it break your train of thought, babe. Come on.
Well, you know when someone we don't normally see, there's like a paragraph, you're like,
Yeah.
go ahead. Oh, it's better than peeing and pooping. What are you up to this? He's a vet too. What are you
Okay,
up to
go ahead,
these
Jay.
days? No, you. Question. What are you doing these days, brother vet? Curious.
Oh,
JS.
I am working at the post office.
Do you know him?
I know a couple J's.
Well, there you go. Go ahead.
Work at the post office. It's the holiday season, so what am I working about? 60 hours a week right now. I have tomorrow off. So
Yes.
and I'm with this beautiful girl right here.
He's
woman.
doing really well, if I do say so myself.
I'm a little tired, but I'm like wired up on an energy drink, so I'm kind of on one.
He's on one. That was what I was like, let's see if he can bite with the dream space peeing thing. Sometimes he'll just laugh and keep it going. He's like, no, I didn't pee on that. And you don't have a hamster. No, not a hamster.
A grinder.
I had never heard of, that was in the Crown Plaza. We started talking. You go, I looked up hamster one time. I guess one of your daughters or something had one or something.
That's how I discovered
and
hamster.
he, right, that's what I'm saying. And he spelled it with a P because he spelled it wrong. And it's a whole porn site
Yeah, hamster.
called Hamster.
Yeah, it was like, how am I a 50-year-old?
Hey, Pauline.
A 50-year-old heterosexual
Good.
male and didn't know about a certain porn site.
JS's longtime lurker.
Long time. See, because I knew a J. I've known. Is it JS? He said.
I don't think it sounds like.
No, I knew a JS at an officer school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if we go back that far, but
I don't know. I'm gonna hold you. Sean looks better and more handsome than ever. Aw.
who said that?
Deb did. He doesn't, but he
I
kind of.
can't even read right now.
He came walking into the. I want.
Thank you.
Try those other contacts.
See,
Trisha's on. I heard that. So her stuff is uploaded to Hamster.
Really?
Yeah.
But hey, not to change subjects, but I always felt bad for the older person that had to hold their phone
I hold
like
it like
this.
that first ID vet.
Okay, cool. I was in first Brigade, first ID at Fort Riley, 234 Armor from 99 to 2003 till I went to second Cav. So Fort Riley, Kansas.
I'm gonna
First
take you,
ID.
baby. I'm gonna get up and take you. He has a grooming appointment. At the end of the day, I'm trained. I'm connected now. He really can't see it, so I need to read it. It takes me a while.
So Jay would have to be, if he's my age and he's a first ID vet, Germany perhaps, or Fort Riley.
At the end of the day, I used to work for the post office. She said she had to work Sundays too, delivering damn Amazon packages.
Amazon. Yes.
Amazon screws them every time.
But end of the day, I'm the clerk on Sunday. I'm the one who comes in and sorts it all. And then if they're short drivers, then I end up like last Sunday, I delivered as well. I do everything for them.
Postal Christmas is postal conniption all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Jay says 4th Brigade, 128th Infantry, 2006 to 2008.
Were you still in Germany? You're still in Germany then, right?
Retired E7. Very cool.
Yeah. So I was in first ID, 1st Brigade, first ID, 234 Armor from 1999 to 2002. During 9/11, I was in first ID, but I didn't deploy until I got to Fort Polk. I was in 2nd ACR.
And he volunteered to go to Fort Polk.
I volunteered to go. Yeah, everyone. She's an Army wife too.
We managed to do a whole 16 years together. 120. No Fort Polk.
So when I get done with OCS, I was in E6 when I went to OCS, and everybody wants to go to Fort Carson and this and that, and then my my tax after, it was apparent that I was going to graduate. He was like, you put in where you want to be stationed. And it was like, yeah, candidate Curley, come here. And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, you put Fort Polk as your first choice. And I was like,
Maybe.
yeah, I want to be near, because at the time I got branched armor, and I knew that armor, Stryker was supposed to be armor based. And I knew that they were, first or second cab was going to be Stryker. So if I just seized my own future. And then while I was in Iraq,
was very poetic. Seized my future.
Seized the carpe diem. While I was in Iraq with second cav, General Schumacher decided that Stryker was going to be infantry based instead of armor based, and I found myself just screwed. And I was at Fort Polk for no reason.
Like literally, like me and my ex had discussed it during the first part of like the enlistment. If he got Fort Polk, he was gonna decline the assignment and get out of the army.
I mean,
because that's what happens, right? You can decline the assignment, but then you can't re-enlist.
Well, you can decline once, but then what happens is, or you could, but say you got Fort Polk and you declined it,
and then they could send you right back.
90 days later, you get ordered for Fort Polk again. That's exactly what they do. The one that I always tried to get out of, and I did get out of, was Korea.
Yeah. I
got out of Korea twice.
Yeah. My son's going to Korea, but he's going solo. I used to, you could go for 18 months instead of 12 and take your wife, but you said not combat arms.
Only Pose can do that.
Yeah. What?
I mean, you could get like Seoul and end up, on a 2-year tour, but for armor and infantry guys, we're up on the DMZ, so it's 12 months unaccompanied.
Wow.
You stay in barracks.
Karen's like, I'm sorry, I have to say, when I hear you talk about your service, like it mattered at the piece of shit beast. The best thing to come, nobody ever questioned or whatever, even when he was like still with her, whatever. But the best thing to come from everybody getting to see the other side of it, it's like, there ain't no shame in my game. Here's my Bronze Star. Here's my, go ahead and read my DD 214. If you want to read it, go ahead and read it.
Mandy does that. She'll show it, like I'll be like doing whatever. I'll be at work or I'll be wherever.
She read it.
But the thing is whenever she's, slandering my service or doing the stolen valor thing or whatever, my gal here will make sure that, and even Owl, who's hot and cold with us, right? She even, when, Trish will, ramp that up, they'll come that video again of me.
He was a
puts
baby.
It to rest.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
You were a baby.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. It's one thing in my life that I mean, because to this day, I've been retired since 2012. And, I had a pension for it. I'm rated well by it follows me for the rest of my life, that success. You have things in your life that might follow you that aren't so good. Like most of my things that I didn't do so well in my life are in my past. But, if you serve 20 years or 20 plus years and you retire, it's about the best benefit package anything can
earn. And your DD 214 goes all the way onto the back.
Yeah, well, the award section does.
Like that it's
What? I can't
at the end of the day she's been feeling very bad. She's been in bed, nauseous, dizzy, weak, pain everywhere with a fever.
That's because you worked for the post office.
Not anymore though.
Yeah, but still.
But it always, like on Sundays I'll be like, how's it looking or whatever, and he's like, Amazon just came in.
It's so funny that at the end of the day, because Sunday is Amazon.
He'll be doing good, and then all of a sudden Amazon will show up with another.
Yes, and it's like if they show up before a certain time, even though all the drivers are out and carriers are out, you have to push it somehow. You gotta tell them, okay, you can either come back and get these 12 more packages each route, or I can bring them to you or something like that.
Yeah.
But Amazon screwed the post office.
They did. They got the contract and then they screwed
the post office. Like, and see, when the Amazon drivers show up, so you have the Amazon truck that comes from the warehouse. They come in the morning and they bring like 3 or 4 pallets. They might bring 300 packages for us. But you also have like the Amazon couriers that are driving around too, and they'll bring like post office box stuff. They'll come with like groups of like 8 packages. They'll come 2 or 3 times a day. Um, every one of those drivers that comes in, and they're not older, the younger ones, they say this is the best job they've ever had.
With the Amazon?
Yeah, the Amazon. So I know that a lot of those, like either FedEx or somebody like that, or UPS, not UPS. UPS truck comes, that's the big truck. Then Amazon is the couriers. They, I don't know who gets, one of those companies gets paid by the package. Like, so if I'm running for
I think it's
FedEx
FedEx.
and they give me 200 packages, I get like $1.50 for each one that I deliver. So if I can knock out 200 packages, this is $300
That's
day
why
right there.
FedEx runs.
Yeah, and those cats are. There goes one right there. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, but you got to be like you better when they're gonna pull out, they're gonna pull out. They give zero fucks.
Yeah. So, what a lot of them do, then I think that Amazon does this. So say they can say I pushed 200 parcels, but they might be those little Amazon packages. If it's a big ass, if it's like tires or some shit that weighs like 40 or 50 pounds, you can bet it'll be on a pallet at the post office for us to take.
But and you know that contract is like 20 years. They got roped into it, and it's like a 20-year.
Hey, Michaela. Every time that we bitch, there'll be somebody from the post office, some regional manager that says don't complain about Amazon. They saved the post office. It's like
no, they didn't.
It's like screw you. It's not hurting you.
Michaela wants to see you.
It's hurting the postal carriers at the level. And all the way down to the postmasters, it's screwing us because they can show up whenever they want to show up. They're supposed to show up at 5:30 in the morning, but if they come at 7, we're waiting for them, and our day is longer. But if we don't show up if we show up at 7 and we were supposed to be there at 5:30, that's our ass.
Yeah.
It's not right. Anyway.
So here's Sawyer. And we saw this. I hate possums. Those of you who know, I love animals, but nothing makes me happier than seeing a freaking possum on the side of the. I hate them.
It's weird. She likes that.
I hate them. So we got this, and I was like, destroy it, and he's not destroying it. But this is Sawyer Brown. He needs a haircut. He has an appointment at 8, and we need to take him. We really do need to take him because he needs a haircut, but it's so early.
It's up in the air right now whether or not he's going to go.
I'll probably take him because he's scratching and.
Actually, the way his hair is right now, when he's clean, he looks good. I like him when he's got long hair, especially in the winter because it's so cold.
Speaking of, I saw from like the Shih Tzu, like whatever, their organization, the best thing to bathe Shih Tzus or any other dog that has hair like them is Johnson's baby shampoo.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Johnson, not head to toe, but the dark yellow baby shampoo. It lasts the longest. It gives the best results for the longest, and it helps maintain their oils. But he needs a haircut this time.
My favorite shampoo is Head and Shoulders because it's tingly.
I know. The tea tree. He has to have the tea tree one.
I don't like the tea tree.
Well, that's the one you had last time.
Yeah, but that's the X that does all the tea tree oil stuff.
Yeah, but yours is tea tree.
Well, I like Head and Shoulders. Put it that way. It doesn't have to be tea tree oil.
Okay, so I saw that the Owl's thumbnail had I got wait, don't get anything else either to go on top of it and make you sicker. They had Negs and DC on the thumbnail, and I didn't get a chance to watch it because we were going to go live and whatever. But here's the thing, DC, I'm going to be honest with you. The more you give in to being trolled about your age, specifically the age difference between you and your boyfriend, the more you feed into it and show that it bothers you, people are going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you're like, it doesn't matter, whatever. Specifically when you talk about people saying you have a dry, dusty, whatever, and trying to make a point for that you don't, stop.
Yeah, and I don't. That's coming. That's a chick telling you that. I mean, guys are like whatever. That's
she's like sometimes with hysterectomies, you get and so when people say that I have a dry, stop repeating it because first of all, you shouldn't have to tell what you got going on between your legs.
It's not anyone's business.
It's not anyone's business.
Yeah.
But when you're like, I don't even, you obviously care because you keep going live to talk about it.
As long as your man or whoever is there is happy with it, because trust me, as a guy, if we're out there, we gonna make it work. If we want it to work, we're gonna try.
And
It's not
plus,
gonna matter.
I've heard that it's not just estrogen based. It has to do with other different types of hormones and things like that. I think that there became like a thing, and everybody's experience is their own experience, but at some point it turned into like, if you've had hysterectomy, your sex life is done, your this and that, and they said it categorically across the board, prepare for this because this is what it's going to be, and it's not true. It's true a little bit for some things, but
and like I said, I can only give a man's perspective. We don't live, it's like y'all have your own physiology and your own drive and all that. Guy, when a man looks at a woman, he doesn't know if she's had a hysterectomy or not. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know. We're driven by a whole bunch of other different things, but
Let It Go needs Crisco WD-40, grease gun, Vaseline, Pam, and everything. Let It Go. I doubt you do Let It Go.
I wouldn't recommend WD-40. That would probably
I heard
sting.
what do they call that lube that they use in the Army? They said get some 1,000-hour. They have in that 1,000-mile tape.
It's 100-mile-an-hour tape.
Yeah, and they apparently it'll stick to anything, right?
Well, look at him up there. There's no eggs in there
anymore.
anymore.
He's been looking for them forever. Aww. He's like, he must that.
Even the cats are fond of the chicks.
Yeah,
they are.
But the Silky's turning broody. The black one is.
Yeah, so the Silky,
she'll sit on anyone's eggs.
And when you go to move her, you ever heard a chicken will growl?
Yeah,
it will.
The
growl.
Black Silky, they're both hens, so they're not fertilized, but they faithfully lay an egg every day. And now she's broody
that Silky is
over everyone's eggs. So I'm like, no, I don't want you sitting on the big eggs because they will hatch.
If you sit on, and she's growling and said, I am a grown ass chicken now. I'm not just a little, So anyway.
But yeah, so anyway, the back to the talking about whatever with DC, and she always says that this is the last I'm going to address it. And it's not the last that she addresses it. And people watch it because it's drama. If that's your thing, go for it. But do you know how long? Because I sent a text asking about the symptoms of a UTI and it got sold for a rogue wrench. Do you know how long people called me stank box? They still do. It was the go-to cousin fucker stink box. I had a nasty thing. It was filled with this. It like this and that. Never. It did.
After a while,
it wasn't true, and it just I didn't address it.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. It's
it
like I like the whole. I mean, the Negs and DC Media Girl is good for the drama.
Mm-hmm. And I watch it for if you're going to talk about it, I'm going to watch it.
It's a couple of social media, I guess, for lack of a better term, personalities from in the DC that are together, much like she and I did. It's two people that people know. It bring two channels together, or whatever. But the dude, you don't have to white knight for him every single time you come on there. You just, dude, step up to the plate and, talk for yourself, man.
Debbie Dawson says, we moved into my mother-in-law's house and I found her lube. I'm still traumatized. She's 94. Damn.
You told me a story. Well, not unless you.
Yeah. Oh, about the
drawer. The KY.
Oh, yeah, that's no big.
Well, I mean, we had first met too,
my
so
parents
it was like
are older, and without getting into, I mean, things happen as you get older, a lack of things. One time Sean and I had just gotten together, but I was staying with them while we were waiting for the apartment. We go to CVS, and my dad has a thing of KY this big and a bag of chips sitting on the counter.
Bag of chips.
And I'm like...
I get hungry,
and he was like, don't ask. But he said that the VA, especially if you have blood pressure...
He said it's not.
You can't... They won't prescribe anything for...
No Viagra or any of that.
Nuh-uh. And then... Or they said something like, you can only have 2 a week.
Let it go. I could even see that. It's like, oh my God. Guys,
I mean, like, I looked, and my dad and I have a really good relationship, so I was like, are you serious? And I was like, first of all, that's enough KY there.
No.
It was so, I was like, And then randomly a bag of chips. It was like,
well, like I said, you gotta have a snack.
and it was at the pharmacy because I think I was picking up a prescription or something. So, or my mom's or something like that. But yeah, it was.
She was getting ready to meet Tomahawk, is what you were doing. So
That was when I was like, well, no, because I said he said he'll move out and we can. You're like, no, he won't.
no.
And I was like, well, until we sell the house.
I can't believe we thought that. I mean, well, anyway, I never believed it, but
yeah. That one, I don't know what you can go ahead and. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if that was in regards to the conversation or the person, but we can go ahead and delete that one.
What's the name of the person?
Well, it's Wicker Up, but they made a comment about someone in our chat.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom was all that in a bag of chips. And the end of it, like a couple weeks later, I was like, so, and he's like, nope. And it'd been like this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about when your love remains, even if you can't do that. It's been like 10 years. They are madly in love. They are in every way intimate that matters. But that physical act. So that's why I say, like, when people use that excuse, like, well, you were gone for a year to
Iraq or
to
whatever.
Iraq, and I couldn't. It's a physical need. No, it's not.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I mean, I haven't thought about it too much, but I have said to Mandi, gerontology is what it is. I am 10 years older. When I turn 80, you will be, all the way up. Right now, everything is all systems go well. But it'll never be lack of passion or love or all that. I can't wrap my head around me not having drive, but there are men that are my age in their 50s, that have problems. And I don't know if it's, is it,
mental health meds are a big culprit.
Yeah,
for some of
yeah.
them.
I don't take any mental health, and the other thing is like, what I try to, not visualize. I try to, ponder. Is it like a frustrating thing because like you want to, and it just doesn't respond? You know what I'm saying?
That's
like if you have the feeling, you're like, ah.
That's the big controversy that comes in with, like, if there is a pedo and they agree to be castrated as part of their punishment, and then they're not restricted how far they can live from other things or things, because and most experts go, that's not going to solve the problem.
No,
it's not a testicle hormone. It's none of that. It's a mental thing.
Yeah, but so that's different.
No, it is. But what I'm saying is like
when you have a pathology and a criminal, like a sick mind like that, that's one thing. I'm talking about a healthy.
But that's what I mean. Like I think the drive is mostly in the head.
Yeah,
you have to have
but
because
I
can't
ever imagine you not walking by like you do and me going, oh my God.
Well, but your dad still every time.
That's what I mean.
Every time his mom walks by, he'll be like, God, she's good looking. And,
yes,
and they've been married.
I feel bad for him. I mean, it's my dad. It's gross.
Well, no,
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway. I can't imagine that. I don't. I mean, it's like,
that's
oh
what
my God.
saying. Like, he still says, he's like, look how gorgeous my wife is. And they've been married 52 years.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, 54 this year because a year. They've been married a year longer than I am.
And old. I think that you will probably be a whole lot like that. And it doesn't matter if you can physically do it or not. And then you think about like.
I'll be a whole lot like, damn.
No, it's as far as still making comments about.
Well, but okay, so like,
and he's always
and I'm not
only
trying
had
to,
eyes for her. It's always been her.
Not to sound like a Neanderthal or whatever, but typically we're in a relationship. If I'm like, hey, let's go, she wants to, and I never in a situation. Well, that's not true. There are times where. You don't feel well or whatever.
If I'll go, are you denying me? And you're like, no.
I'll be like half
but
asleep.
Then I'll go, I'm just
She'll
kidding.
do it on purpose.
I'll be like, I'm just kidding. I
come home from a 12-hour, 15-hour day, and I'm laying there. She goes, I want sex. And I'm like, are you denying me? No, dear, hold on. Let me go
want
splash some
sex.
cold water.
I've never said I want sex.
No, you didn't say it like that. But
I don't talk
You'll
dirty.
say it like, you'll be like, I want you. And I'll be like, okay.
And then I'm like, I'm
okay.
kidding. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a certain chain of events. If you've showered, if you've brushed your teeth, if you had a long day.
What do we call it?
Then you're like, no, I'm going to bed. And if you've already taken your muscle relaxer, no, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, Mandi has said
I'll see you tomorrow.
Her term for that, I'm like, and she goes, that window has closed.
That
window has closed.
That window closed right about
for tonight.
After dinner.
I'm looking at my videos and this and that, and I'm like, really? She goes, window's closed, and I'd be like, oh.
There's a difference. Videos.
What you're like
whatever fishing and whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about you.
I was like, you're watching fun videos? Are you watching not? What was that? Swollen members. Swollen members.
She was like, blah blah blah. What videos?
Midget porn. He still gets accused of watching you stayed up watching midget porn all the time. First of all, I'm all about it. If you watched it all the time, do your thing, buddy. If you like it, cue it up. Let's take a look. That only came about because you were friends with the ones that did the wrestling at the bar next door.
Yeah, so the bar next door in North Topsail Beach, Tortugas is the bar. Those of you, and I know there's a few people that come in the chat that know Jacksonville and Sneed's Ferry and all that. So the bar is Tortugas. I worked at the convenience store next to it. Those of y'all that remember that. And about 3 times a year, they have the midget wrestling where the midgets come. They're from Indiana, and here's the funny thing. People think if they have
you could do that.
A little short school bus. I'm not kidding. And they're not very tall, right? 3 feet tall or whatever, 3.5 feet tall. And so they literally build like these bunks in the little school bus. And so like for us, for people that are 5'6" to 6'6", which is most of us are in that range, you can only put like in a short little school bus, you can maybe put like 2 bunks or maybe on one side if you wanted anything else in it, like a sink or all that. They literally had like 8 bunks. They're all like about the size of this couch.
And you said some of the girls would wrestle in swimsuits and stuff. People were into that.
I'm trying to remember that group.
We're both burping Mexican food.
I think there was only one girl in the group there's like 6 of them. And I think there might be 2.
You showed me.
Yeah, there's a picture that I have that's in my Facebook. They would all come next door to the convenience store and eat like hot, and they drink a ton of beer for their size. I'm telling you, they would grab these suitcases of the 24 pack beer, and I'd be like, so that's your beer? He's like, it's my beer. And it's like,
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's like 80 pounds or whatever.
The Little People, Big World, or whatever that one is that they've all gotten divorced and remarried other people. All of them drink a tremendous amount.
But they used to love coming to the beach there. It was like one of the only venues that they did that was beachfront because, the store, you go across the street, there's like one condo and then there's the ocean. And they would, I would let them park in our parking lot. So they would just go to the side there because there's another bar on the other side. And so they could do their show and then they could just literally go to the beach and hang out and party at the beach. And then come back to their little bus and go to sleep.
Debbie said, okay, how do I get porn without having to pay? Only need 2 minutes. I believe Pornhub is free, right?
Yeah, all that stuff's free.
She's like, maybe she's joking.
Hamster.
Most of them y'all aren't lying when that her stuff has been uploaded to all those sites.
Really?
I don't know who. Well, the thing is there's Autobots that go through and take those pictures on forums like OnlyFans and send them and sell them to these different sites. No one had to do it.
So like when you go to a lot of these sites, you just type something in. It can be whatever.
But I mean, like Trisha Paytas has a whole team devoted to taking it down because
she can afford to do that.
But these auto programs will go through and automatically scan for the pictures all over the internet and then get paid when they send them to. So
it's like an image search, though.
And she's got a whole team of people that spend all the time going to those sites and demanding that they be taken down. But she's not doing those kind of pictures anymore. She's not doing
Moses
only.
doesn't let her do it.
She's not, and I think that's why they're struggling financially. Hey, girl, find something else to do. I mean, I know that you made bank, but you seem
think about
far
it, though.
more satisfied now with your life.
I'll talk to Moses for a second. Here's your gal that you met and fell in love with, right? I was with a whore too, so I know. When you meet them, there is a certain. This is what she does.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like she said, oh, by the way, that he didn't know that she had these 40-second clips on her OnlyFans where she was having sex, and that she was the number one OnlyFans person in the world.
That's when she made all that money.
Right.
And then she spent it all.
So you meet this person and it's like, oh, what are you worth? Oh, I'm worth, $4 million or whatever it was. Because I think it was something in that ballpark, right?
But here's
but how did you make your money? Doing this. He knew that.
And she said she loved doing it. Like
Yeah.
it finally she got paid for doing what she loved. But the thing is this is the thing about Trisha Paytas. This is some crazy stuff, and a lot of you may know that. Moses is Gila from H3's sister. H3 Gila, Moses is her brother.
Who's H3 Gila?
No, H3, that podcast. You don't watch it,
Oh,
but H3.
yeah.
There's the Ethan and Gila. Gila's brother is Moses. And there was a long-standing feud between H3 and Trisha Paytas. And when she would go on their podcast, they would make her look bad, whatever.
Frenemies, right?
Right. No. But before frenemies.
Okay.
She said, I'm going to fuck your brother. And do you know she did?
Yes.
And then married him.
Yeah. Imagine that.
She said, I'm going to get with your brother. That's what I'm going to do.
The first thing you're doing is you're on your phone going, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Brother.
Yeah.
She's coming for you.
Yeah.
And just know that.
He
So
did.
whatever you do.
Yeah. And that, my
if-
understanding, Moses' family didn't come to the wedding. They're estranged as far as I know. Frenemies came, like, when they tried to make it work. And Frenemies was a pretty good show. And then she did what she always does and threw a fit and stormed off. And Ethan was like, no, this time you're not coming back.
Right. Because they were friends. They were friends.
She said it straight on their podcast. I'm going to fuck your brother. And they were like, and
who?
A week later, she's vlogging with the brother going, and he lived with her all during COVID. I'm like, you got to give her credit. A devout, I believe he's a Hasidic Jew.
Hasidic?
I think so. Either, or is it Orthodox or Hasidic? One or the other.
DC Media Girl.
So then she pretended that she was, then for a while, remember when she was like, she's been everything. She's such a troll. When she was trying to be like, she would be lighting the menorah and stuff like that. Yeah. And then when she said, she tried to start
2 Christmases ago. She had
Trisha Shana
talking to Trisha. Yeah, I mean, and all of that is like so blasphemous, man.
She would get in so much like people, and she grew and she grew and she grew.
And Moses is over there going, yeah, and that's it.
She did. She said she just learned about the Holocaust not too long ago, and that's not. I mean, that she's trolling on that.
But going back to the point was that here's a dude. And, it's whatever. It's whatever. But you got to know, I don't know. He's not a broke guy. He had a little bit of money. Like when you go on Google and type Moses, whatever his last name is.
Mm-hmm.
He is an artist and he has a little bit of net worth, but I don't think it's $1 million. I think it's several $100,000. And so going into this, it's like, dude, you're taking on a real high maintenance chick that spends a lot of money, lives a certain lifestyle, and she generates that by doing pornographic material.
Yeah.
And you want her to not do that when you're together. You want her to settle down because she's married. You got to figure out how to support her.
Let it go. She's eating pizza and all kinds of. There's a girl called Lena the Plug.
I was just thinking of that.
And when that girl was like 8 or 9 months pregnant, they did a porn together with the girl's husband or boyfriend or whatever, and that was super
the father
controversial.
of the And the thing is when you talk about Trisha Paytas, she was on YouTube and did this, and then kind of switched to OnlyFans and did this. Lena the Plug, it was like arguably a better known porn star than Trisha Paytas was.
Yeah.
Like when when it comes to the porn part of it, there were people that are like, I'm watching Lena the Plug, and Trisha Paytas happens to be in the video with her, not the other way around.
She for a while she was talking about she was gonna get with that Malia Khalifa or whatever, but
Mia
she had already
Khalifa.
quit doing it.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Trisha Paytas said she was gonna?
Yeah, but that girl settled down.
Which takes, well, not really. So which brings us to Deshaun Watson. Okay?
That they were together.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Deshaun
you
Watson.
didn't tell me that.
Well, there's a whole. Okay, I'll explain the story. Deshaun Watson was the pro. He went to Gainesville. He's just
Like
one
his swollen
town
liver
over.
was on camera.
Well, yeah. So Deshaun Watson went to Gainesville High School with one of my daughters, right? So I've always been a Deshaun Watson fan. Went to Clemson. He plays for he played for the Houston Texans in the NFL. He got in all this trouble because like 25 different masseuses came forward, and he would fly these masseuses in, and then he would pay them, and then he was wanting a happy ending and all that. So it became this big deal. Now in criminal court, they didn't find anything. There was no criminal wrongdoing. But he got cut from the Houston. There's a backstory to that. I think he was kind of like set up by the Houston. He didn't want to be in Houston anymore. Demanded a trade, and the money, the powers to be were like, well, we know you do this massage stuff, so we're going to out that, and we're going to get anyway. So there was no wrongdoing found criminally. He got released by the Texans. The Cleveland Browns, or not the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns. They take a big chance and go all in on like some $400 million contract with him. And he's embroiled in this. Now it's a civil thing about inappropriate behavior and blah, blah, blah. So he's trying to lay low and get his reputation back. He's been suspended for 10 days. Then a video surfaces of Mia Khalifa at his apartment dressed like a French maid.
I didn't know that.
And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up with this stuff. Stop.
I think that they got him on that just to make
he's back playing. He
but
played last
week
week
to show
him, that where the power base was.
Because even the masseuses were like, nobody's complaining about what we did.
That when he's calling you and flying you in from wherever in the United States, that was part of the deal.
Yeah.
I
didn't have any idea who Malia was until Sean and I started
Mia.
talking. Mia, whatever her name.
Mia Khalifa.
Oh, there is a Malia Khalifa though.
No, it's Mia Khalifa.
She's a Middle Eastern woman that is like the #1 porn star in the country.
Yeah, she was pretty.
And she would get death threats from like these
from the Arabic nations
from
and stuff like that.
their sheiks and stuff that. And she was like, whatever.
Yeah, she was a little bitty thing. They're just getting rotted off the range by all these dudes. Anyway,
I had no idea who she was. Like, I literally had never heard of her. But she apparently made quite a bit of money.
Yep, and then she left the porn industry, and so she was doing whatever, trying to be an actress or whatever, legit actress. And then dumbass Deshaun Watson, who's just, neck deep in these civils, this inappropriate behavior. He's going to lose his whole career. Dude's worth $400 million. They're going to take it away from you. And just stop.
I don't think he cares, though.
But that's kind of the point. It was like, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So then it kind of died down. They're going to let him back. Then this video appears. But then if you think about it, it is 2 consenting adults. I mean, it's not like...
That's the problem.
That's the problem. It's like, what is wrong with that? Well, she's a porn star and he's already been in trouble. So what?
It's crazy.
Anyway.
I don't remember that, Debbie. Remember the lady that got romantic with canines No, I don't. Never saw that one on YouTube or whatever 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole underworld that's crazy. Do any of you watch that I Am a Stalker or I Am a Killer on Netflix? I only went on to Netflix. We have a membership. We've had it for a while. But I didn't really watch it. And I wanted to watch the Meghan and Harry thing. But they've got one called I Am a Killer and one called I Am a Stalker. I Am a Stalker. And it's their episodes. And they interview the one that's usually in prison. And then they interview the victim or the victim's family or whatever. And it's always like, a twist to it. Like, did they really do the killing? It's just a crazy thing. But the I Am a Stalker one, 2 of the episode, did you? Yeah, I said that Karen needed to watch it because she's told me about her ex, and there's a lot of similarities.
Wow.
But like, there's 2 episodes that I've watched where, you know, the guy ended up going to prison, usually for damn near killing the girl or whatever, and they wrote to them. They wrote to her, like, these women ended up going back with him when they got out of prison, and these prosecutors are like, I can't fucking help you.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's I mean, literally went to prison for damn near killing him, and then
but that
and
begs
writes to him, and they can turn it in.
So what is
but they don't.
their pathology? Think about this.
It
Think about my situation and some of the other people.
Yeah.
It's like they ruin this guy, and you know, if the guy is doing this stuff, then it's against the law.
Pretty,
you do,
yeah. The stalker
it's pretty bad, you know. But so he goes to prison where he needs to go if he's doing this stuff, and then she gets with him again.
And they're like, there's nothing once they've done their time.
Yep.
They can apply to have the restraining order demolished. But the other one is that I was watching this one where every time she was talking about him coming to her house and breaking, like about the 5th time she was like, and he was in the hallway, and okay, he obviously wasn't breaking in 10 times.
Right.
So you know,
he's not climbing through the same
part
window.
of the story you're leaving out is that you let him in. That's the key. And that's because I'm like, once she said he went through a dog door at my parents' house. Okay. And then she kept talking about the apartment. She had moved on with somebody else, and she was like, I looked up and he was at the end of the hallway. And then she's like, and then, you know, and I'm like, you had to be letting him in at some point. He can't break in all those times.
Yeah, Mandy was watching this, and I'm kind of like doing whatever I'm doing.
That's the I'm a Killer
listening
one.
to it. The I'm a Killer one that that got me to stop was the PTSD one. And it's not, and I don't want to say why. You know why? Because you know the guy was describing his military service
and trying to connect this crazy.
And he's trying to connect how he killed his girlfriend, or whatever. It wasn't his wife. It was his girlfriend.
It was a murder-suicide, and he didn't end up dying.
Yeah,
That's
he killed her, and then he didn't die. But then the whole big deal, and it really bothers me because my PTSD diagnosis, and you know, thousands of my brothers and sisters in arms, and for other people that have PTSD for other things, I'm just talking about. He was a soldier, and he was attributing this grisly violence to his PTSD, which I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, if you don't address the things that you've been through in combat, sooner or later they're going to raise their ugly head.
He was saying because he witnessed because it was Desert Storm, and we know that Desert Storm. It was still whatever, but he witnessed them beating women in the streets and things like that, which did happen.
Yeah.
And what they did to the Kuwaiti women was awful, but that
it
doesn't equate to you.
The things that make you, and this is just my opinion, but if I hear another story that I think is horseshit that they're trying to tie to, it's kind of y'all. It's kind of like when y'all come to me and say, her story's bullshit because I was beaten and I was abused. And, you know, it's similar when I hear this stuff about I'm a Killer, about some guy.
That exactly.
You know, and why he did it. And I'm sitting there going, no, you don't do that because of what you're describing. You know, and so anyway, this guy said that because of what he saw in Desert Storm in Kuwait, led them down the road to a murder-suicide, you know, and he killed her, and her hands were still in her pockets and everything. Remember when they found her body?
He was trying to say it was an accidental shooting. His Rutger pistol, her hands were in her pocket.
And so they're interviewing this guy from prison or wherever he was, and he's telling this story, but and you can listen to it and go, this dude, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you killed her. Right? And you're trying to blame.
And someone saved your life.
And the paramedics saved you because you didn't off yourself. And you're blaming, you know, it's almost like.
He tried to even blame her daughter, that her daughter was
everyone else's
defiant,
fault.
and it stressed him out. And it was like, No, what happened was you were being a coward and you were offing her and offing yourself, and it didn't
And it
work.
didn't work. And you're
And
an
then not only
asshole.
that, you didn't even
Right.
own it.
Right.
When you came to, you are now vilifying her and her daughter.
And what happens is there's a whole legion.
Exactly, Karen.
There's a whole legion of us that struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder, and we find help for it, and we live our lives with it, and we, and it's not an excuse. You can't go and kill somebody and then think it's, well, I have post-traumatic stress disorder, so that's why, and I'm so sorry, and you're an ass for being mad at me, and your sisters and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it pissed me off.
He
had
had one of his his veteran brothers that he had been in Desert Storm, that he was talking about some incident where, and nobody was there, they don't know, but that they were about to be attacked, and they said, "Do we fight or do we hide?" And they're like, "We fight." And I'm like,
but then they talk about we fight, and of course, but then the narrator says, "Well, that battle never happened.
Right.
It never came to any of that." But okay, so you're with your battle buddy here, and you're committing your life to one another, in which soldiers do. But then you didn't have that battle, and it was just the way the whole documentary was unfolding. I was like,
that's one of the consistent things with both of those shows. They don't take any responsibility for anything. Right. The stalker one or the I am a killer one. There's a few of them where it appears that the woman took responsibility for killing someone. For one case, it sounds like it was to cover for her son. She would rather do the prison time and whatever. But anyway, it's become interesting to me.
You have to read those because
I know I am. Karen says my ex had PTSD because he thought his mommy didn't love him enough. And that's very common. They use this. One was PDD. He said he suffered with PDD, something like on the autism scale. And it was like, so that's why you lit your girl on fire? Because you have, and they always have an excuse. And they always blame, like the stalker one especially, they always go, well, we would fight sometimes. And I'm like, now some of them, they were tumultuous relationships where they would get drunk together and they would give it as good as they got it. And the guy would be like, look, I'll do my time. I get it. But it was just a matter of one of us was going to die. And that's really common with bad domestic. That's why they, you know what I mean? Where one has to get out.
Before one dies.
Right. Because it was like, one guy was like trying to say because his dad beat him. That's why one day when somebody in his neighborhood, and he was on crack. And that's why when this old lady in his Houston neighborhood said hi to him, he lost it and took her inside and killed her because he was on crack and because his dad beat him.
Your dad beat you. I don't know. But by the way, another thing was I was on crack.
Mm-hmm. And he was like,
so you don't think the crack had anything to do with it?
And the stalker one, drugs are pretty common. They'll say, if I hadn't been on meth, so when I get out of prison, and these girls believe it. One girl did. Yeah. He was like, I got out and I'm not on meth anymore, and I think we can make it work.
So I'm a pretty good guy because of that.
Yeah. Karen says not to make light of my situation, but the sheriff's office hid me and my daughter. Exactly. Until they arrested him and told me when I left when I'd be that. See, and that's the thing is Karen doesn't advertise that about her, but she's been through some shit. So Karen can watch someone telling some bullshit about abuse or whatever and be like, no, that doesn't pass this.
And see,
Captain Sparrow was like that. I don't know where she went, but she was
there was just so many people that are like in and around the drama community that
they're like, you wouldn't
that
poke and prod.
I'm grateful because they've spoken up and said, hey, look. Mm-hmm. Hey, look.
They wouldn't poke and prod you.
Right.
Like she did.
Right.
They wouldn't be like, okay, did it. Come on.
I mean, Owl over there and y'all she had was in a tremendously horrendously bad, abusive relationship and survived it.
Hey, Stitch.
There's so many people that are around here,
tell.
that are whatever,
It's crazy.
So.
But yeah, so there you go. That's your show to be. I'm going to take him tomorrow. You sleep in and I'll take him. He needs to. He's like, Mom,
You need to go get a job, Sawyer. You're a freeloader.
Tiny needs to get a job. I was going to
Tiny's
go
out
grab
there.
one of the chicks.
The other
before we go.
guys that see, there's a bunch of females
Right.
that live on this house, but there's 3 males. There's me, and then there's Sawyer Brown has no job, and Tiny the rooster has no job. I'm the only guy with a job.
Karen and I have talked about this. It says, here's the thing. I don't feel sorry for myself. I picked myself and my daughter up and built myself a new life.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no use for the beast bullshit. And that's the truth. It was until when Karen told me about this ex, and I was like, I had no idea. And she's like, how nobody would.
Yep.
Look, tell it's because it's 9:30. Is it your bedtime? He knows, the cat, 9:31. You ready to go night-night, Scout? Yeah, you're gonna get a bath tomorrow. We'll tell everybody bye-bye, and we will put Scout to bed. And look at him, he's like, anyways, you guys, nice, good conversation. DC, don't worry about people think about your
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
You keep doing you keep doing your vlogs, and get Negs more involved. He can vlog. He's a good speaker.
Hey, Sarah. Poor Sarah got here right when we were leaving. Whether you like him or don't like him or her or whatever, they're trying to do their podcast. Hey, go for it. It's a good idea. The other day when they were doing it, I was like, Sean, what if we did a podcast with like current issues? And he was like, but I'm like, but there wouldn't be any healthy discussion because Negs is super conservative and she's super liberal.
No, but it would be a perfect. It'd be great. It'd be
me and you.
No, those two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're doing it.
But
it's called The Attic.
Does he contribute a lot to it?
They do it once a week.
Yeah, because it's while I'm never. I would watch that. I mean, I'm just not home when they do it. I'm at work.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get to see a lot of DC's.
She's taking a lot of it. Paula's right. She's lost a lot of stuff. Yeah, she's taken a lot of shit.
I mean, and that's the other side of it. That it's like, who are we? I mean, if she wants to go all in because of this, okay. But it's a different route that she used to kind of do to build her channel and all that.
I think if that where people are constantly talking shit about you, and I fired up live every time.
Every time.
Like, don't you freaking! I love him. He's sexy, and
he's
I love his hair, and I love his shirt, and I love everything.
All of you sent him news, and he never asked for it. That's one thing that I want to talk about.
Everybody sent
whenever
unsolicited.
She does that, it's like there's 30 some of y'all in the chat. It's like, how many of y'all have just woken up and just
your inbox was overflowing.
Just some other person some dude, you just decide, I'm going to send him news. He wants to do. Did you ever? No, there's never been any. I'm just going to send him.
Sean's like, apparently I'm not cool enough.
Yeah, no, but I just don't buy that.
I don't either.
There was a dialogue and there was a relationship for each one of these people to get to the point where they, transmitted a picture of them scantily clad or whatever it was. It's not unsolicited.
Karen said I sent him mine. Sean sent his.
See? Was it unsolicited?
Oh,
but it's not. It's like all these women unsolicited. No, it's not.
It's not. And hey, apparently the guy's got game. I've been hearing about him getting nude since way back OG days.
OG, yeah. I mean,
I have.
It's kind of like
Sorry,
the whole Moses with Trisha Paytas. I mean, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You don't have to defend everything about their past because it's there. You're not going to change anybody's opinion, and you're not going to build your cough. Yeah. I mean
one, she even brought the hubby on.
Yes,
to say
I did. We were broke up.
I was like, why did you admit to it?
I know the fucking humiliation of that. I know when I'm sitting there pretty stoned watching Sports Center. And someone plops a laptop down right in front of you and go, "You tell them you guys are going to talk to a real man. Tell them that that's not my picture. Tell them that. Tell Takedown Man and Kate." Right, and I'm like, "What?"
Right when they're about to go, okay, I'm going to show you what she said.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it.
We talked about that too. I was like, "Now you do know that she sent those to," and he goes, "Yeah." In retrospect, yeah, I do.
I mean, it's.
I was like, "It didn't come from Jessica. It didn't come from you. It didn't come from."
I mean, all these dudes I have just a kinship with, the Williams and the frickin' all these dudes who
Tammy's
have,
off the chain.
these dudes are just sitting back going, "Oh God, please, just stop."
Tammy went ape shit crazy.
Maybe the
today.
ground will open up and swallow me right now, and it would be okay.
Look, this is Scout, and it's his bedtime. Say hi.
He's like, "Leave me alone."
Look at
Hey,
he's
he's
on me.
pushing your
You want
way.
kisses? He's like, bam. Anyway, guys.
All right. We're going to have to figure out something. I'm full of caffeine right now.
Well, look, they're fighting like, oh my gosh. You're not going to have that much energy in the morning.
No.
We need to figure out if we're going to take.
Woo.
I scared him because I touched him with my thing. Anyway, you guys have a good night.
See you guys.
Well, I know, right? Caffeine. We didn't discuss caffeine and its effects on the libido, but we'll do some research and let you know.
Yes. So yeah, that's good. We can.
Okay, cool, Sarah. I'll take a look. The look on your face. I told y'all I found that picture. I have it. I woke up, the flashing picture.
Yeah.
I woke up, Rogue Nikki.
Oh, you talking to look on my face?
Rogue Nikki, I don't know if she's still around or what her name is, but I woke up the next morning and she was like, "Mandi, did you see it?" And I was like, "See what?" And the next thing I know, the screenshot comes in and I'm like, and Sean's sitting there with a beanie on, right? You had a ski hat on?
I don't know. I don't.
And he was like,
I think it was more of an aggravated, like.
"You looked scared." But I guess you would be scared.
Rogue Nikki, there's another one.
Yeah, I don't. I think she still pops in every now and then. Yeah. She's had pretty bad health issues. But yeah, I was like, that legit happened. They're like, Takedown Man was about to show the chonies. He's about to show what he had, and
is that what chonies? What does chonies mean? What is that?
I have no idea. Apparently, it's balls.
Yeah. No, that's cojones. What's chonies?
You said it. I don't know.
I think it's like panties or something though.
Is it?
I don't know. What is chonies?
I don't have sex for rent money. I just get it paid.
That's the punani.
Oh, that was the word.
That's the punani. Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, look. Dallas is going to play tonight at 10, and I'm going to watch my Mavericks.
We have a Christmas party tomorrow. Don't tell every detail about who it's with, where it is.
Why not?
Because I know earlier I was going to say, where are we going tomorrow? And June's like, we're going to, it's at this address.
That's what I said.
No, but I was worried you would. But we are going to a Christmas party tomorrow.
Hey, Mayor's daughter.
Hey, Mayor's daughter.
What is up? We are
about
to sign off, but yeah.
Yeah. But we had fun.
The replay is up, and it will be up, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna flash before we end it. Yeah, we all. Yeah, that was the best line that I've heard in a while. Was like, Google has your nudes.
Who said that?
The other day when you were like, when it was that once again the who had the nudes and who sent it where, and you were like,
Google.
Bitch, Google has your
nudes.
Google
has it. You go to apparently hamster, and you say whatever. It's on that.
There's like a whole file of like one I went to, it was just her boobs over and over and over and over and over again. Like a whole, and I was like,
that's Google.
But how do you I don't know how would you can't get it back down?
Yeah, I mean,
because she didn't upload it there. It got taken there. You'd have to get an attorney.
And it doesn't
a lot of money.
And it doesn't really, not just an attorney. You have to get a team of people, like cyber people. And that's, I mean, there's a lot of people throughout like the history of the internet that have done that to themselves, and they're
like a boy that got his thing stuck on OnlyFans, and he didn't even commit. Didn't say yes or do whatever, and it got on OnlyFans. Yeah, and there's nothing that you can do. Hey, Mama Ricky, check your. Okay, I will.
See, everybody's coming in, but.
Yeah, well, I have to put Scout to bed. You gotta do whatever, and we've got to feed the baby chickens. See, we've got
stuff to do.
You're gonna feed the baby chickens tonight.
I'm gonna feed the baby chickens.
Anyways, have a good night, y'all. Thank you
Love
for.
y'all.
Hopefully, we'll be on tomorrow night. He has to get up super early Sunday morning, but we'll make it work.
I like the weekends. I like the weekend.
No one's still exactly, and I'm like, where would Sean have gotten it? Like he doesn't even know how to get onto our laptop.
I know.
So how would he remotely steal?
Every so often I'm like, Mandi, can you set up the laptop? I got to remember my
He
password.
doesn't know how to get into
so
it.
I can check and see how many vacation days and how much of my paycheck's going to our mutual funds.
And
She's
when
like,
we
you don't know that?
activate a new cell phone, it is crisis level 15.
Yeah.
And every
She's
time
like,
I tell him
okay,
it's going to be okay,
this is the power
there's
button.
not going to be any hiccups. It's going to go smoothly, and it never does.
I mean, I don't even know how many vacation days
They won't let you take them anyway.
It doesn't. But the point is like, how many vacations? Like, I don't know how to use it.
He doesn't.
So
they could be conning him, and he would have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Were you look like you have sun? Were you out in the sun?
No, I think I'm just like
Your
overtired.
blood flow is healthy. Oh, that sounded dirty.
I'm like
anyway,
overtired.
y'all have a good
my
night.
blood flow. No, what was it? My blood flow. My swollen.
Bye, y'all have a good night.
See you guys.
Bye. Look, it is only 2, Sean.
No,
I'm trying
it's
to
not
end it.
bad.
Hold on. I know we're still